Well, welcome to Etchin Life and Etchin World. It is almost election time in Canada, and I'm here in, I believe, Broadway, somewhere in Vancouver. I'm not familiar with Vancouver. I'm from Toronto, but we have Jenny Kwan with us, and Jenny and myself, we are 2 meters apart, right? And Jenny, it's nice to have you on my program, Etchin World and Etchin Channel, for the first time.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Now, let me just pass the mic to you. I know you have you've gone through a lot. You've been 3 different levels of, I guess, polls in the government, municipal, city, and member of parliament. And you are contesting to be an MP again, right? So with a few days left right now before the 20th, I guess the advanced polling, it's finished. So people have to go to the real polling station to cast their vote. Usually in Canada, especially for people with Chinese origin, they're not too eager to come out and vote. Is that always the case, or could that be changed?
Well, thank you very much for having me. First off, yes, my name is Jenny Kwan, and I'm seeking re-election in Vancouver East in this federal election. I am, on the ground in talking with people. A lot of people are quite unhappy, to be honest with you, about the fact that we have an election. Many feel that is not necessary. And so that is a worry for me about impacting the voter turnout, right, whether or not people will go and vote. The other thing, of course, is that we are impacted by COVID as well with the pandemic. And so, for example, a lot of the seniors may be impacted by their voting this time because the mobile polls have been canceled, right? And so there are a lot of sort of impacts as a result of the COVID situation. Now, with that being said, with Chinese Canadians, I think that historically, many of the Chinese Canadians may not have participated in the voting process. And you may ask why. If you think about the history here in Canada, the Chinese Canadian community, first off, did not have the right to vote, right? We weren't recognized long time ago, and people had to fight to go through that process to get us the right to vote. So then it's highly cherished in many ways. However, with that being said, though, people still face barriers to getting to the polling station. I have met seniors who's been here for a very long time, and because they have language barriers, they don't know how to access the voting process. And to me, that's devastating. And so I have talked to seniors, and our campaign team, our volunteers have worked hard to try to help people overcome that problem, help them register so that they can participate in the voting process.
You have to be a registered voter first.
You have to be a registered voter to get on the Elections Canada's list, and then for Elections Canada to send you the voting card so that you know where to go to vote on election day. So there are these sort of steps that could be problematic. The other thing, just now, just as we were setting up to do the interview, a supporter came and asked on voting day, how do I do it? I'm not that familiar. What will the ballot look like? And we want to, make sure that we vote for the right person. We want, the supporter says, I want to choose you.
And may I ask, how many hours of voting time do you have?
So on voting day is 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Okay, 12
and
hours.
12 hours. And you have to vote in your area. So each area have a different polling station. If you show up at the wrong polling station, you can't vote there. They'll send you away. So then you have to know where to vote. And so it becomes complex for people. And so what we've done in our campaign in Vancouver East is always work hard to provide that information to people. We actually sent a leaflet to every single Van East constituents, if you will, or voters, so that they have the Elections Canada information, so that they know where to get the information, both in Chinese and in English, to encourage the vote.
Are there in Vancouver East? Is there a lot?
There are many polling stations. I don't even know the number off the top of my head.
At least 10.
Oh, that's definitely more than 10. There, many of them. But this year too, because of the pandemic, where people may be used to going to vote may have changed because the school may not be available or the place that they normally go to may not be available. So that's something that people have to watch for. So I would really encourage Chinese Canadians and in fact all voters to get to the polls because it's really important. We value our democracy. We fought hard for our democratic right. And so, don't squander it. Use it and vote for the candidate that you support. And hopefully you'll vote for me if you're in Vancouver East.
Yes, and the result will come out, I guess, at the end of the day, the 20th. It takes 3 hours to know whether the contestant wins or not, right? Does it take a long time to do the polling and also getting the result?
Yeah, it will vary. It will depend on the situation. Yeah. Normally speaking, you would know at the end of the evening because the counting of the ballot is a simpler process. But in this instance, with the pandemic, there are a lot of people who are doing mail-in ballots, and the counting of the mail-in ballot will be much slower. So if it's a tight race, so for example, if you only won by, a dozen votes or a few votes, or even a few hundred votes, the final result may not be right that day. You may have to wait until all the mail-in ballots are counted. So that may be delayed because of that.
Okay, thank you so much, Jenny.
Thank you.
我哋講一次用中文
OK 好
一路攣緊嘅。咁俾我攞嚟。好，咁依家咧我就喺 Vancouver East 咁睇緊嘅咧就係 Action World 同埋 Action Life 兩個頻道。咁我哋有關慧晶喺我隔離啦。咁就曾經你係喺3個 level 嘅議員咧，你都做過喺溫哥華。咁 Jenny 你好，我想問下咧。即係依家有 pandemic 啦，多唔多人咧？其實出嚟投票咁，同埋呢個係一個 early election， 即係再係提早 call for 呢樣嘢。我記得2年前都好似發生過嘅，因為當時喺香港又係第一次可以海外投票啦，唔夠1000人，香港有30幾萬華人添。我講緊Chinese Canadians， 咁今次可能會多翻少少。咁喺 pandemic 之下，可能又影響個投票率。咁 Vancouver East 係唔係即係都好多元文化，好多唔同族裔？咁不如等你講下。
係溫哥華東區咧，就係可以講話加拿大最多元文化嘅riding 之一嘅選區之一嘅。咁樣咧，早排咧都報咗出嚟咧，話我哋溫哥華東區咧有成76個言語嘅，咁咧就可想而知啦。呢個世界有咁多唔同嘅言語，我哋喺溫東咧都有成76個，咁樣所以即係好多元文化啦。咁樣講到大選啦喎，咁樣其實呢次大選咧有好多溫哥華東區嘅選民同我講話，哇，點解又再大選啊？啱啱先選咗你哋啫嘛，2年前啫嘛，做乜又要再大選？咁樣所以有好多人其實都唔高興咧。我哋而家有個大選，其實呢個大選咧係冇人想嘅，淨係杜魯多想係有呢個大選嘅啫。咁樣所以冇辦法啦。咁樣佢杜魯多叫咗個大選，咁我哋就而家係大選期間啦。咁樣下個禮拜1咧就係大選咯。咁啊希望大家千祈啦嚇，9月20號咧就去投票。咁樣咧就其實我哋華裔嘅朋友咧，大家都知道歷史當年咧，我哋係受到有好多歧視嘅，甚至乎我哋華人咧少數民族嘅人咧都冇權投票嘅添。咁樣所以啲人爭取到俾我哋有呢個機會咧，就希望大家一定呢次大選咧就要去投票。咁樣咧其實有好多話題都係重要噶嘛。咁樣無論係講話關心香港又好，或者關心我哋嘅環保嘅問題又好，關心我哋嘅生活水準、我哋嘅醫療藥物保健牙醫保健等等都好。咁樣咧呢啲咧就係要投票，你支持你哋個黨或者嗰個候選人。投佢一票，希望選到佢出嚟咧，咁就可以就為大家爭取。咁我哋當然新民主黨咧，就咁多年嚟咧都係為民爭取嘅。咁希望大家會支持我哋，投我哋一票。
好，我想問下啦，就喺香港好似咧係多過12個鐘，即係香港啲唔同嘅地區區議會選舉。咁喺呢度溫哥華聯邦大選有幾多個鐘頭？
係聯邦大選咧就20號嗰日咧就係7點鐘朝頭早至夜晚黑7點嘅，咁就12個鐘頭啦嚇，咁樣咧就係可以投票嘅期間。如果你已經係海外㗎啦，出咗埠㗎啦，咁樣咧其實咧就大家投票嗰個程序咧，其實要申請個郵票啊，咁樣咧就係 Elections Canada 申請個郵票咧，佢就會寄張飛俾你，咁你收到嗰張飛咧，你就可以投票。咁喺嗰張飛咧，你就要寫低你支持嗰個人嗰個名喎，唔係佢個黨個名，嗰個人個名，咁樣咧就寄翻嚟。咁樣咧就Elections Canada 咧就一定要喺20號之前收到嘅，因為如果你過咗20號咧，你嗰張票咧就係會廢咗嘅。
明白。咁但係就如果聽緊我哋個節目嘅溫哥華嘅聽眾啦，或者多倫多嘅聽眾咧，佢會去投票就係當地時間嘅7點到7點，啱唔啱？冇
錯，係當地你自己即係喺溫哥華東區啦，咁樣就係 Pacific Standard Time 啦，咁就係7點鐘朝頭早至夜晚黑7點鐘，咁樣咧你亦都要咧去翻你喺嗰個區域嗰度嗰個polling station 㗎嚇，唔可以走咗去第二個嗰度，咁樣佢唔會俾你投票嘅，會掟你走嘅。咁所以咧你就一定要知道你去啱嗰個投票站。咁樣同埋咧，你去個投票站咧，如果你冇收到 Elections Canada 嗰個卡咧，話俾你聽，你係可以去投票咧，係冇相干嘅。如果你入咗籍係咗加拿大人咧，你就帶2個證件去，個證件咧就係有你個名同埋有你個地址2份呢個證件咧，你就可以即時投票。
係啦 ，proof of address 即係車牌咁樣咯。
係，如果你有車牌啦，或者我哋嗰個銀行啊、水單啊、電話單啊、電費單啊，或者藥物嗰啲嗰個 prescription 嗰張紙都有你個名，咁樣你帶2份呢啲證件去咧，你就可以表示你係呢個人啦，同埋你個地址係喺呢度，咁你就可以投票㗎啦。
係啦，好緊張，得翻5日時間，咁記得大家如果你係加拿大嘅公民，記得咧 exercise 呢個 right。唔該晒，
多謝。